Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on ClickDimensions and Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement this afternoon. My name is John O'Dell from Enhance, so I am happy to be joined by Ashley from ClickDimensions. We're really excited to have Ashley on the line today. We have a long partnership with ClickDimensions, delivering digital marketing solutions for our CRM customers. We've been working with Click for a long time, and I've got many success stories there with our existing customer base. I won't talk too much about Click itself because I'll let Ashley do that, and Ashley's going to show us through some of the key features and benefits of ClickDimensions. But what I will say is that the thing for me that really stands out with ClickDimensions against the competitors on the market is how tightly it's integrated with Dynamics 365. Dynamics CRM, as we still call it, and the thing is that if you're used to working in that Dynamics interface, Click really just is completely seamless, and it provides the sort of best-in-class digital marketing functionality that you need, but within that really nice tight integration. So it's a great user experience. It makes it easy for marketers to leverage all the power of Dynamics and the power of Click. And there's some great stuff in there as well around things like marketing automation and surveys and landing pages that you'd expect from a from a leading marketing platform. So that's probably enough for me for the time being. I'll hand over to Ashley and let's learn a bit more about ClickDimensions.
Perfect. Thanks so much, John. I appreciate it. So what we'll do today is we'll start in a couple of PowerPoint slides so we can talk about how we work with Microsoft Dynamics 365. And then from there, we'll just jump on into a live environment. I'll show you around the features and functionalities. It'll be kind of a general overview today as we have a lot of different people with different industries on the line. But if you want a personalized demo or have any questions, you can certainly put them in the chat pane. So ClickDimensions is email marketing and marketing automation built exclusively for Microsoft Dynamics 365. So we're not a standalone tool. We don't even have our own platform or database or anything like that. We actually just live inside of the CRM system. So it's everything from your email marketing to who's on your website, forms, surveys, posting out to social media, automating all of that right there in Dynamics. So traditionally, the way things work is you'll get your CRM system, and then you'll go out and you get different marketing tools so you have the ability to do what you need to do. But the problem with the traditional sense is that everything is siloed data. They're all on their own platforms. You're jumping in and out of different user faces, just trying to put two and two together to make a report. Whereas ClickDimensions has just made it simple by taking everything and plugging it into your CRM system in one place. So you'll have a 360-degree view of every single contact in your CRM's behaviors, actions, interests, things like that. So the way it works is you never actually leave Dynamics in order to do anything with ClickDimensions. So you'll build out your emails, your forms, your campaign, trigger those campaigns, all from within the CRM system. So from there, an email will go out, it'll deliver to the recipient, and then we will take all of the reportings and analytics like the opens, clicks, unsubscribes, website visits, all of that, and we'll actually just push all that data back into your CRM system. And then this right-hand column right here just shows that you would create a CNAME, just means that we will never brand on anything that you own or send out. Everything will look like it's coming from you, not from us. So from there, we'll just go ahead and jump on in. So Microsoft Dynamics, as you're familiar with it, it has sales aspects, so things like contacts and leads, the individual people within your CRM system. From the marketing side, it has tools like marketing lists and campaigns. So marketing lists are a way of building out your mailing list. It's a way to segment people. There are so many different ways you can put these lists together, but it's just who are you looking to target. Campaigns are a way to tie multiple different people to or different activities together. So we'll be talking about those entities today, like contacts, leads, marketing lists, campaigns. And as I'm saying those terms, I'm referencing the out-of-the-box Dynamics entities. It's not a special separate marketing list within ClickDimensions. We're using that Dynamics core functionality and just enhancing it. So then there is ClickDimensions. So you come into your CRM system, you have all of this additional functionality just put right in it. There's no separate login, no separate platform. You just come into CRM. Now, keep in mind as we do run through this that anyone who has access to Dynamics has the ability to have access to ClickDimensions. Now, from there, you can, of course, limit that access with security rules, but it's nice because it's bringing everything in one place and allowing multiple departments to not only use ClickDimensions and its different features, but also see all the data that's coming back in. So we'll start in email templates. So ClickDimensions has a number of different email template editors. The first one is our drag and drop editor. It's really nice, flexible editor, allows you to build out wonderful looking templates without having any HTML knowledge. So as you're building this, you are just creating a template. So you can save this template, recycle it, reuse it as many times as you'd like, come in, change it up, resend it out. But as you're building these out, you're just dragging and dropping over components that you want. So images, text, buttons, spacers, social sharing, social links. There's even an option to just drag and drop over a block of HTML. So maybe if you just wanted to pull in, a quick piece of code for a block for your header or something like that, you can do that. You can also delete things out, but you can also change up the layout at any point as well. So maybe I want this to be 3 columns instead. This is all of a sudden a 3-column template. You can change column distribution to give you a lot of flexibility in your layout design as well. Now for images, I would just come in here. This is our image manager where we host and organize these images into little folders, subfolders, but you would just come in, find the one you're looking for, pull it into the email. Now, if I get this image in here and it doesn't look quite how I thought it would, I can edit the image just directly from this template. So I can crop it, resize it, draw on it, add special effects, stickers, frames, do all of that without ever having to leave the platform or the template, and then just save it and it'll re-render itself to this email. So if I worked really hard on this section, I can also save the section. So not only can I save the template as a whole to reuse, I can save bits and pieces of a template to pull into other templates later on, making it really easy to create content. Now, you can just plain text in these emails, type whatever you want, but you can also pull in personalization from your CRM system into these emails. So I can pull in any field from the contact, lead, account, or owner entity within CRM. So that's any field that sits on those entities. So easy example that everyone uses is the first name, allows you to pull in the first name of the person I'm sending this to. That way it looks like you're sending it just to them when really you're sending it to a mass list. So lots of hyperlink options as well. So website URLs, email addresses, phone numbers, files, if you want to pull in any PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoints, anything like that, you can quickly and easily go find the one you're looking for and pull it into this email in order to add more content. So we'll talk about them a bit later, but I can also pull in forms, surveys, landing pages, all of that. So if I wanted to pull in maybe a customer satisfaction survey or a member satisfaction survey, go insert the link, quick, easy link to a survey within ClickDimensions. So after May 25th of last year, GDPR kicked in. So the most important part of an email is the subscription part. So there's a couple of options for that with ClickDimensions. So you can either do a global unsubscribe, so opting out of all forms of communication, or you can actually build out your own subscription management pages and give people options of things that they can opt in or out of. Now you can create multiple types of pages for maybe different types of emails that you're sending, but you create the page, you create the options that are on it, the logos, everything like that, but it would be a page that would look something like this, where someone could come and check what they're wanting to opt in or out of. Now, as they're picking these preferences, it is automatically updating Dynamics, it's automatically updating these lists that they sit on, and automatically updating the individual in CRM with their preferences. Now, the great thing about that is it's managing your GDPR compliance and consent in one single platform versus if you're using some third-party platform, you're then having to take those unsubscribes, download them from that platform, upload them into Dynamics to make sure that Dynamics is compliant and not sending them emails as well. So nice way to give people options, really segment your list and what people are looking for, but also remaining compliant. Now that is the basics of just creating a template with our drag and drop editor. You can send a test email to yourself if you just want to try it out. You can preview it. So this is a basic desktop mobile preview, but you can also run an inbox preview, which will render the email in over 40 different mobile and web-based clients. So if I want to see it on an iPhone X, just pull it up. What this will also do is it'll run a spam assassin on this. So you can go and actually check and make sure that it's not getting caught in spam traps. So if that says passed, it's fine, it'll be good to go. Now, if that said failed, you would want to pay attention to the spam score, and this is where that spam score is coming from. So you'd want to go in, change a couple of these items, rerun the test until it said passed. And then once it said passed, you'd send it out and it would be good. So that is creating it with the drag and drop, testing it, previewing it, all of that good stuff. Now let's say you prefer to HTML code out your emails. You can use our freestyle editor, which is a WYSIWYG editor, which we'll start with here, and I'll show you that. But we also have just a pure HTML email, but with the freestyle editor, you could either copy and paste over some HTML, you could build out HTML from scratch here, you could come in and type in whatever HTML coding that you were wanting to add into this email, but then you could jump back and see what it looks like in this little preview section. Now from there, like I said, it is a WYSIWYG, so there are some editing options, like I can still free text in this template in order to edit it. I can still pull in the personalization. I can still add in images, hyperlinks, all of that good stuff, but it's just another way to create an email. Now, if you notice, this template looks very similar to the drag and drop one I was just working in. So what you can also do is maybe if you want to start and get the basics of this email going in the drag and drop, build out a majority of it, but then there are some things that you would like to tweak with HTML, you could start in the drag and drop, clone it, change it to the freestyle editor, and then that way you could come in, tweak it a little bit in the source code and still have that editor or that email template that you originally started with. Now, it can't go backwards, but you can go from drag and drop to HTML. Still has the inbox preview and the check on the spam. So after you create your wonderful content, you probably want to send it. So with ClickDimensions, we can send emails a ton of ways. So you can send them in bulk, which is what we'll start with here. You can send them as a one-off to someone. You can send them using a CRM workflow, actually. So maybe if this field on the contact record changes, automatically send this email. And then you can also send them in an automation, which we'll get into. But bulk way first, you'll just pick the email template you're wanting to use. So just type in the name of the template. Then you'll get to pick who do you want the email to come from. So do you want it to come from the record owner? So who owns the relationship with that person in Dynamics? Do you want it to just type in whatever name or email address that you want this to come from? That's another option as well. Now you can pick a separate reply to, and then when do you want this to send? So immediately, or do you want to schedule it to go out on a specific date and time? So maybe you're going on holiday next week, but this newsletter still needs to go out. So you want to go ahead, set it up. That way you don't have to worry about it when you're on your vacation. And then the best part is there is no import-export process whatsoever. So as I mentioned earlier, we utilize CRM's marketing lists. So since we're still in CRM, all you have to do is type in the names of the lists that you want to pull in here, and it'll just pull right in. So no messing with spreadsheets, just type in the marketing list, adds in right here. Now we do have split test options. So if you're having a hard time deciding between two different subject lines or two different who the email should come from, or two different email templates altogether, you can actually build out strategy A and strategy B. And then you'll pick the percentage that you would like to go to each strategy to test. And then how do you want the winning strategy to be selected? Do you want it to be selected based on unique opens or clicks after a certain amount of hours, days, or weeks? Or do you want to go based on instinct and do it manually? Hey, I personally think that B performed better. We're going to send out B. So a nice way to just test out different strategies and make sure the best version of this email is going out to the majority. And then there are statistics. So ClickDimensions has a number of out-of-the-box reports. So I'll go through that first, but if there's anything that you want to report on that you don't see that we provide out of the box, this information lives inside of your CRM system. So all you have to do is pull a CRM advanced find, and you can query on any of the data that you want to and build out your own views and dashboards and charts and things like that. So basic overall performance, your interacted rates, bounce rates, unsubscribes, your clicks, your opens. How is this email performing? Email clients will show you the top devices that are being used to open the email. You can see if they are desktop or mobile. Now, conversions is a really nice view because it shows you if there's any web activity going on because we sent this email out. So you can see, is anyone visiting the website because of this email? Is anyone filling out any forms or surveys because of this email? So nice way to track back that web activity back to the email that's actually generating the activity. Now, heat map is everyone's favorite, shows you exactly where people are clicking in this email, what links are working, which ones aren't. And then a click report will actually break down each link in this email, link by link, and person by person who's clicking on that link. So you'd be able to see, oh, these are all the people that are interested in this topic, which is great. And then, of course, there's every open, every click, every unsubscribe, every bounce. All of that is pulling back into Dynamics. You can build out, like I mentioned, any views, dashboards, charts that you want to create your own custom analytics. But the best part is that everything is posting back to the individual contact record in Dynamics. So this is a normal CRM contact record, works the same way for leads, by the way, but you have all of your CRM data here, but you can also see all of the ClickDimensions data that is coming back as well. So I could come into an individual and see, okay, what emails have I sent them and how many times are they opening, clicking, unsubscribing? Have they, visited the website and what are they looking at? Are they filling out any form submissions, giving us survey feedbacks? What are their subscription preferences? So it's tracking back everything that they're interacting with to their leader contact, along with all of the CRM data, giving you a full 360-degree view of everything about this person. So I've mentioned visiting the website a couple of times. You're probably curious on how that works. So I'm going to jump into PowerPoint for one quick slide so I can talk about web tracking. So ClickDimensions has a tracking script that you can place on the footer of your website. So when someone comes to your website, ClickDimensions will query your CRM system and see if they are a known visitor in Dynamics. If they are, great. We're just going to take that visit history and push it into their known leader contact record. Now, if they visit the website and we don't have them as a known visitor, we're actually going to place a cookie on their browser and create this anonymous visitor record so we can start tracking their page views and visit histories before we know who they are, because we're hoping to one day find out who they are. Now, ways to become a known visitor are to click on a link in an email that you send them, or if they fill out a form or a survey and give you their information. So once they've done one of those things, we'll actually identify them in Dynamics as either a lead or a contact, just depending on how you personally use those entities. And then we'll actually just take any previous anonymous visitor history and push it into the leader contact record. So that way we know what John Gordon's been up to on the website, even before we had identified who John Gordon was. Now, ways that is useful is in an individual lead or contact, I'm able to see page by page, second by second, what is someone looking at? What are they interested in? So this is a great thing for, someone in sales or someone in fundraising to know what pages they're hitting. So when they speak with them or they send them communications, they know exactly how to target them. Now, this is also great on a larger level as well. So you can see, how are people getting to your website? What channels are effectively sending people there? Are they coming from emails? Are emails effectively driving people to the website? Social sites, search engines, what channels are working, which ones aren't? You can also do this on individual pages as well. So maybe if I have a really important page on my website that I want to monitor a little more closely, a pricing page, a donors page, an interest page of some sort, or maybe you just want to track, how pages are performing against each other. You can pull views on each and every individual page that this tracking script is on. Now, if they're blank in the lead or the contact space, they're anonymous. If they are known, they will be right here. So you can see exactly who's hitting these pages, how long are they on them for, and all of this is pulling into your CRM system in one place. Now, ways to become a known visitor. We talked about clicking on a link in an email, but you can also fill out a form or a survey and become a known visitor. So forms are one of my favorite tools. So whether it is a contact us form, a newsletter sign up form, white paper download, inquiry form, whatever kind of form you're looking for, when someone fills out the form, it of course looks to Dynamics to see if we know who they are. If we do, it associates itself to the known lead or contact. If we don't, we can actually have them automatically added into CRM as a lead or a contact. That way, someone on your team isn't having to go manually check CRM for duplicate, manually go and create a new contact, manually type in all the information that they give you. This is just all doing it for you and pulling into Dynamics. Now, in terms of design, you pick what goes on these. So you'll create the fields. So what are you looking for? Am I looking for an email address? Give it a little label. Pick my field type. So email, text, money, list, date, time, checkbox, whatever I want here. And then from there, we just drag and drop over what we're looking for. So we can make some fields required. We can add in HTML, images, instructions, captcha bars to prove you're not a robot, checkbox to add me into your marketing list, whatever you're looking for here. But the best part about them is that they are call to action. So what do you want to happen because this form is filled out? Do you want to send them an autoresponder thanking them for filling out the form? Maybe this is an inquiry, so you want to send a team notification to your sales team saying, hi, hot new lead, someone reach out. Maybe depending on what kind of form this is, you want to add them to a certain marketing list to target them later. So there are a lot of things you can do here on these. It's really just great to make sure that you're being made aware of every single form submission coming into your system so you can follow up with them as quickly and appropriately as possible. So a nice way to connect in the forms on your website or a landing page or an email into your CRM system and pull all that data in one place. Now to get it on your website, it would just grab the embed code as an iframe or widget. So very simple. So we also have a survey builder. It looks just like our form builder. The only difference is you're creating questions instead of fields. So you would come in, create a question, give it a name, type in your question that you want, pick your field or your question type. So rating 1 to 10, radio, checkbox, text area, list, text box, anything like that. And then once again, you're just dragging and dropping over what question you want to appear. You can make them multiple pages. You can do skip logic, same call to action concept. Now, any form or survey that gets filled out comes back into your CRM system and associates to the individual filling it out. So for example, here's Joel. Joel was sent this survey where he answered these questions with these answers. So I can see individually how is Joel doing. So if you're grabbing a customer satisfaction survey, member satisfaction, you can also use CRM workflows. Maybe if they answer a question that they're not satisfied, maybe you have someone immediately notified. So you can proactively go after that, see if there's anything you can do to help. So that's on the individual basis, but you can also run a survey report, see how it's performing as a whole. So overall, are people happy? What are we doing great? What do we need to work on? And all of this is pulling back into Dynamics and identifying that person. Now, we also have a events piece. So we have connections with a couple of event platforms. So just like we're running a webinar right now, we have integrations with GoToWebinar or WebEx for those webinar events. For those in-person events, we integrate with Cvent and Eventbrite. So if you're using any of those or want to run events like that, you could do that. So all you need is a subscription to one of those platforms. And then every time you create an event in one of those platforms, it creates the event in your CRM system. So it'll pull in, the event name, the details, all of that, and then it'll actually start tracking the people that are registering for that event. And it pulls them in to Dynamics. So if they're already a lead contact in CRM, it'll actually just add an event participation record to their leader contact record. Now, if they are not a lead or contact in Dynamics, it can actually have them automatically added into CRM as a lead or a contact. And then just like we can see what emails we sent them, we can see what events that they're participating in. It's a nice way to kind of pull in those events, see who's, attending them, registering for them, all of that good stuff. But you can also take all of this a step further with our campaign automation builder. So campaign automation is nurture or drip marketing taken up about 1,000 notches. What it does is it allows someone to flow down different paths based on their interactions. So it's drag and drop, very easy to use. These red triggers are how someone can be entered into one of these. The blue actions are what you can do while you're here. There are a ton of different ways to use them. We'll start with the event example just because we were just on it, but you can see there's a registered for event and attended event trigger here. So maybe if you are running an event and you want to automate that process, these are for the event connectors. So Cvent, Eventbrite, GoToWebinar, WebEx. So maybe I want to start with a marketing list of people I'm looking to target for the event. I can send them an email with the event registration link in it. And then from there, I can see if they're registering. So you can see when I pull in that trigger, there's a green path and a red path. So green means they're doing what I want at this stage. Red means they're not. So if they do register at this stage, we can send them down this green path, where maybe we send them an email, can't wait to see you, can't wait for the webinar. Maybe we notify the events team or user that's hosting that event just to let them know, hey, you're getting some registrations in. And then maybe, a week before or a day before, you get an email as a reminder about the event. Now, after the event, if they attended or missed, you could send them a separate email with, a follow-up survey or the link to the recording or sorry we missed you, whatever it may be. So that's all great if they register at this time that I wanted them to, and that's the point that's flowing them up the positive path. Now, if they don't, okay, maybe we wait a week, and at that point we can check if they're registering. If they are, maybe at that point, great, we send them up that positive flow path where they get all those follow-up details. If they're not, maybe we try again, maybe we don't, just depending on time, but nice way to flow through that event process. Now, these, like I said, they can be used for so many things. You could do general lead nurturing, take a marketing list of a segmented market that you're looking to target, send them an email. You can actually check if they're interacting with this email. So email interactions can be opens or clicks. So maybe if they're clicking, immediately notify someone in sales and have a CRM task activity created for them to give them a call. Let's strike while it's hot. Maybe if they don't interact with that email, no worries. We could, wait a week, a month, a day, whatever you want here. You pick, and then we could check if they're interacting with it at that point. And if they are, up this positive path. So people will use these for welcome campaigns. They'll use them for cross-sell, upsell campaigns, events, lead nurturing. There are so many ways you can use this campaign automation builder. The point of it is to automate this process and let people create their own custom journeys based on how they're interacting with it. And you're setting this up and letting it run. And then you can be notified at a certain point in a campaign, maybe if there's a certain action or point that you need to jump in. That way, you're running these campaigns and initiatives while you focus on other activities that maybe you can't automate, while this is all flowing in the background and making sure that people are feeling welcomed and feeling paid attention to, and you're nurturing them. So this is one of those tools that everyone has a ton of questions, kind of once they start using it, once they start thinking of their own ideas to use it. But it is an amazing way to automate and save time and resources. Now we also have a social posting tool. So what this is it's a very light, basic social posting tool. It allows you to post out to your social media profiles just directly from CRM. So out of the box with the core functionality, it is for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Now we do have a social engagement platform that it has its own features and functionalities and does a lot of other cool stuff, and that does include Instagram. But for this core ClickDimensions feature, it's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So you would come in, pick the profile that you're wanting to post to, type up your wonderful, beautiful post. I always encourage a hyperlink here, and I'll tell you why in a second, but hyperlink it back to your website, back to a landing page with some content on it, anywhere. But you can also come in, just grab an image just from your local file, pull that in, and then you can pick when you want this to post. So do you want to post it now, or do you want to select a date and time for this to post? So maybe once again, you're going on holiday, you're wanting to go ahead and schedule all of your work to go out. Maybe you're running an email campaign and you want this post to go out at the same time so you can hit multiple channels at once. You pick, but create your post, pick an image, pick a time, and then hit share. So when you hit share, it's going to post your wonderful, beautiful post to your social profile. And then if you put a hyperlink in here and someone starts clicking on that hyperlink, we're actually going to pull that back into Dynamics as a social click. So you're actually able to see, oh, I posted about this on social media and it got 20 clicks. That's so great. But it also works alongside our web tracking to where if we have identified who that person is via our web tracking, we're actually able to associate that social click to it as well. So I could see, here's James. James clicked on this post. We're adding this social click to James's contact, just like we would an email or form submission. So you can see, if you do know who they are, that's great. It is pulling in the fact that that person clicked. If you don't know who they are, it's pulling it in anonymously, so you can see someone clicked, so you could still see, oh, I got 30 clicks on this post. That's wonderful. Now, all of this can be tied together with a CRM campaign. So I mentioned this functionality earlier. It is a out-of-the-box Dynamics functionality. So out of the box with CRM, you can tie back things like marketing lists. So who are you looking to target on this campaign? You can also tie back activities, phone calls, notes, all of those good CRM features. But in addition to all of that, you can also tie back all of the ClickDimensions entities as well. Because likely, if you send out an email or you post out to social or you have a form on your website, it's not that one piece of content that makes a whole campaign. It's likely working together with other parts. And this is a way to see all of those parts in one place. So I could come in here and say, okay, what emails have I sent out because of this campaign? Has this generated any visits to the website? Are we running any events? Did we get any registrants? Did we get any form submissions or inquiries? Did we get any survey feedback? Did we post about it on social media? Did anyone care to click? Do we have any campaign automations running in the background? So you're able to see all of this activity working together in everything that you've done for this campaign. Now, a part of CRM campaigns is you are able to tie back CRM opportunities to a campaign source. So that way you can actually track back what opportunities are being created or won as revenue because of this campaign. So that is a lot of what ClickDimensions does, features and functionality wise. Now, for those of you who are already on Dynamics or maybe already using the user interface, we also have a app as well for that as well. So we work in Classic as well as the unified interface. So both ways work great with ClickDimensions, but really it's just pulling in all of these extra marketing activities into your CRM system in one single place. So after that, I think it's over to John to kind of talk about some more events and follow-ups after this webinar. John?
That's great, actually. Thanks a lot. I mean, just before we move on to that stuff, we've there's a couple of things I wanted to pick up on. One is a question we've got that's come in from Colin around around campaign automation. So obviously we've just had a look at campaign automation, which was great, and as I mentioned at the start, that's one of the things I like most about Click. Let me just scroll back to Colin's question. So what Colin is asking is about how we can use campaign automation for trigger dispatches, and the examples he used are customer receipts, abandoned cart, transaction error, and so on. So I wondered if you could just give us your thoughts on that, actually.
Yeah, so for those items, it's going to use a workflow in CRM to kick it off onto a marketing list. So maybe if you have that abandoned cart data from your e-commerce platform that comes into Dynamics, you could use the CRM workflow to add them onto a specific marketing list to then trigger emails and actions to go out after that. Same with, member renewals and things like that, maybe 30 days from a renewal. We'd put them onto this flow, all of that good stuff. So it's just taking that Dynamics data, using a CRM workflow to kick off this marketing list, which kicks off this campaign.
Great, and hopefully that gives you a bit more insight there, Colin. I think just to pick up on something that Ashley mentioned at the start of the session, obviously today's quite generic, trying to give you a good flavour of what ClickDimensions can do. If you're interested in following this up with a more specific demonstration, then please just let me know or contact your account manager at Enhance, and we'll get something set up and we can get into some of those more sort of nitty-gritty type requirements from there on in.
Absolutely.
So the other thing I wanted to mention as well was just about the process of actually onboarding ClickDimensions. So as you've seen, it fits very nicely into Dynamics. So installing it is pretty straightforward. And then what we like to do is go through the onboarding process, which is where we provide you with some training and guidance, but actually we do that in a very sort of hands-on practical sense, in that we work with you to send out your first campaign, so that we're it's not just sort of classroom-based training or pointing you at a training manual. We actually work with you to make sure that you really getting the full benefit from ClickDimensions, and at the end of it, you've got something to show. You've sent out your first campaign, and then from there on in, there's additional support and there's training materials from ClickDimensions online, which are really good. And that's the sort of the start of the journey to get you using it. So as you can see, there's an awful lot there that you can be taking, making use of and taking advantage of. And I think it's fair to say, actually, that there's, we could probably spend a couple of hours going through various other elements that we haven't touched on today.
Yeah, absolutely. And to John's point about onboarding, I mean, this is a large platform with a wide feature set, and to just throw it at someone would be a lot. So Enhance does an amazing job at, really guiding you through the process, making sure you're comfortable with the system, and really just making sure you're getting the most out of it and utilizing all the features and functionalities that work for you in the way that you need them to work. So that's a wonderful service that they offer to help get you up and running, as well as continued support throughout your customership with us.
And importantly, we also use ClickDimensions ourselves. So we are a ClickDimensions customer. It's integrated with our Dynamics CRM. So that's how we do all of our marketing and customer communications, what have you. So we don't just talk the talk, we walk it as well.
Exactly, they're their own best use case.
So I think that's. I think there's another question from Colin, which I've just answered in the chat window, Colin, which is because it was a bit of a technical one. What I'd just like to mention, if you wouldn't mind just bringing up the slide deck again, Ashley. We've got a few other events that you may be interested in. So while we've got a happy captive audience, we just thought we'd take advantage of that. A lot of these are focused on the charity sector. So I think the big one that I'd really like to draw attention to is next Wednesday. We'll be at Microsoft's Paddington offices from first thing in the morning through to mid-afternoon, talking about Dynamics 365 in the charity sector, our NFP 365 solutions, both for CRM and finance. So if anyone's interested in finding out more, meeting like-minded customers who are also on a journey with Dynamics and meeting us, we'd love to get people along to that. again, a number of other events there, including the Institute Fundraising Convention in early July, all the way through to November. So you can obviously find more information on the Enhance website, and also look out for our useful and informative and very nicely formatted emails that we'll send you through ClickDimensions as well.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you, Enhance and John, for hosting today. Thank you
Thank you,
all
Ashley.
for coming and listening to ClickDimensions. And like John said, feel free to reach out to John or your rep at Enhance if you need a personalized demonstration or have any follow-up questions about ClickDimensions, and we're all more than happy to help.
Excellent. So thank you very much for your time, Ashley. That's been really, really useful. And everybody, if you wouldn't mind, there's just a few quick survey questions once we conclude the call in a second. So if you wouldn't mind just taking a minute just to answer those few questions, we'd really appreciate that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, everyone.